Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Realistic 151 project, the series where I draw realistic versions of the first generation of Pokemon using the concepts of stylization and fantastical biology to inform my redesigns. Today, we're officially 10% of the way through the Pokedex. 15 down, 136 to go. Well, that doesn't seem as impressive as an accomplishment when I word it that way. Either way, we will be continuing in Pokedex order, as this week we will be tackling Pidgey, Pidgeotto, and Pidgeot. For someone who loves birds like me, and has a lot of them as pets, surprisingly drawing them does not come super naturally to me. So naturally, there's a lot of reference in these three designs. For Pidgey, there was a lot of sparrow reference, which is surprising when you think about how Pidgey is supposed to be based on a pigeon and Spearow is supposed to be based on a sparrow. But it remains to be seen that Pidgey resembles many species of brown sparrow a lot more with its general face shape and eye markings. So the inclusion of traits like those were a natural choice to make it very sparrow-like. Though the original design seems to be based on a sparrow, there are a lot of proportions that do not fit with the sparrow inspiration due to how large Pidgey is supposed to be. And surprisingly, the original design actually gets the proportions fairly right. Looking at references of larger birds like hawks and some parrots, you will find that the legs are a lot thicker than most people would expect, especially when compared to the relatively skinny legs of small birds like sparrows. Since Pidgey's evolutions resemble predatory raptors and hawks, there are also some traits of young eagles in the lower body and feet, and of course there's a lot of reference of my own birds, especially my sun conure bird, in the texture of the feet. So here is my interpretation of Pidgey, the tiny bird Pokemon. The evolutions of Pidgey keep many traits from the sparrow, like the eye markings and the light bellies, but use them in a raptor-like body plan. For Pidgeotto, since its Gen 5 sprite is drawn mid-flight with its wings open and talons bared as if it's about to grab some prey, I looked at a lot of pictures of hawks hunting for this pose. The biggest change was to its legs, as in real hawks the forelimb plumage goes down a lot further than Pidgeotto's and Pidgeot's do. Though a lot of real hawks have feathers that go all the way down their legs, I still wanted to keep some of the bare talon look from the original, and as so I compromised that this plumage should end at the knee joint. The other main trait Pidgeotto and Pidgeot are known for is the red head crest, which most resembles the crest of a lot of cockatoo and cockatiel species. Unfortunately, I rushed through this design, and I didn't look at a lot of reference from either of those birds and their head crests, which is unfortunate as I have examples of both literally inches from where I draw. However, at the time I surprisingly didn't make the connection and basically freehanded it, which I think came out to the piece's detriment in the end, as because of how uninspired the head crest was, this is my least favorite of the three. But honestly, not by too much, I still really love these designs. So this is my interpretation of Pidgeotto, the bird Pokemon. The final evolution was of course Pidgeot, which is my favorite of the three that I did. Pidgeot most resembles a red-tailed hawk, with obviously a few of those sparrow traits thrown in from its first form. I looked a lot at references of those birds perching it, as Pidgeot's Gen 5 sprite is standing, which are the sprites that I'm basing these poses on. I took the same approach with the legs as I did with the previous form, but these are far larger and more powerful looking hawk legs, as bigger birds have exponentially bigger legs. And Pidgeot, being a nearly 5-foot tall bird, would need monster legs to support itself. With this design, I realized that its head crest most resembles cockatiel crests, and so I used my cockatiel Charlie as reference. This helped a lot as Pidgeot's unrealistically long head crest length made it difficult to figure out how it would sit on itself. Eventually, I found a look that I liked, trying to keep loyal to the long, slightly more removed version of the design than the original head, while also giving it a realistic flair. Their tail feathers most surprisingly resemble African gray tail feathers with their solid, bold red color, so I looked at those as well. All three designs of Pidgey's evolution have very stylized eyes, so I used a bit of artistic liberty and decided that I would give them all golden brown eyes that many of the raptor species in real life have. This also stood out nicely against the dark eye markings. As a final note, like I've been doing with the others, I think the Pidgey line would make very pleasant pets in real life, but I'm also probably a little bit biased. Owning one would probably be comparable to owning large birds, and towards the end of the line I imagined that they'd be similar to owning a hawk or a falcon, but you probably wouldn't want a 5-foot-tall hawk or falcon perching on your arm. Since birds are highly intelligent, I imagine that the Pidgey line would be as well, and so I imagine that the ease of care would come down to mainly their individual personalities. If you got unlucky enough to catch a Pidgey with a bad temperament, an aggressive or fussy Pidgeot would probably be a bit difficult to deal with due to their size, as hawks and falcons in real life being half or a quarter of the size are already difficult pets to have. But with some work, I believe most of the more difficult ones could probably be handled with proper care due to their intelligence. So here is my take on Pidgeot, the bird Pokemon. So here are the next additions to the Realistic Pokédex in Pidgey, Pidgeotto, and Pidgeot. I hope you all like my take on them, and tell me whether or not you have one in real life after seeing this version of the design in the comments below. I might be biased, but I really love birds, so they'd be a big contender for my team. As always, thank you all for watching, and a special thanks to my patrons STE, Alan Michael White, Vex, R.O. Bolt, and Griffin for your continued support. It truly means the world. If you want to join them in their support of series like the Realistic 151 on this channel, by getting cool perks like early access to my videos, then you can do so by clicking the link below and signing up for as little as $3 a month. Even better, it's no commitment, so if you find that it's not your thing, you can cancel at any time. Thank you again to my patrons, and thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, then leave a like, and if you want to see more like it, then subscribe. And turn on the bell to get notified when I upload next.